Did you know there are 2 different ways you can sail to adventure in the Bahamas? This episode, we're showing you how we get ourselves from one remote island to the next in search for adventure and beautiful views in uninhabited remote islands. Welcome back to Sailing Jibsea. If you're new here, we're Steph and Travis, and after 3 years of sailing all over the globe and covering over 25,000 nautical miles, we're back in the beautiful, shallow, crystal clear waters of the Exuma Island chain here in the Bahamas. Anchor's up and we're sailing north up to Shroud Key, which is known for its natural preserved beauty and most definitely a spot you won't want to miss in the Exumas. Shroud Key is part of the Exuma Cays Land and Sea Park, a protected area, so of course we know we're in store for some pretty nice views. The current moves through the mangroves into a clear, shallow lagoon known as the washing machine. The tidal flow creates a swirling current, giving the sensation of being gently tumbled in a washing machine, hence its name. Because we were here when the tide was going up, of course we had to walk to the last little bit of exposed sand. Shroud has a network of mangrove rivers that stretch for approximately 5 miles. These tidal creeks wind through the island, creating a unique and ecologically rich environment, so it's home to a variety of marine and bird species. After a great time at Shroud Key, we decided this would be as far north in the Exumas that we'd be sailing, and decided to head south, taking the bank, which is usually calmer, being less exposed than the Sound side, or the Atlantic side. My brioche is glowing right now in the sunlight. I've been experimenting with brioche loaves, and this one came out perfect braiding it. I had it cold proofing overnight in the fridge and it came out so good. The crumb is super fluffy and soft.
Doing 6.5 knots. Yeehaw!
So windy. I spoke too soon. We're pretty healed now. Check that out. First thing we protect, the bread and the espresso machine. Wait, maybe let's put it on the counter. Super shallow. There's actually only a tiny little section that we can pass through here in this channel that fits only one boat comfortably. Man, that was shallow.
Yeah, it's a little tight. So one of the awesome things about sailing the Bahamas is you usually get 2 options of how you want to sail. You can either go to the Sound side, which is the Atlantic side, or you can pick the bank side, which there's pros and cons to both. If you sail the bank, you're going to be in 20 feet and less of water, but all of that Atlantic swell is stopped from the island, so you're going to be in really nice sea state. But the con is you're going to not really have a good chance of fishing unless you want to catch barracuda. If you go to the Sound, which is the Atlantic side, you can go sail out in 1,000+ feet of water and you're gonna have a better chance of catching big open ocean fish, which is like wahoo, mahi-mahi, and tuna. But you're gonna be exposed to a lot bigger sea state out there. So that's the fun part. You can pick and choose the weather conditions and if you want to fish or not. So if it's blowing 20 plus knots, you obviously don't want to be in that sea state, so just take the bank and have a nice sail. Just don't fish. But if it's 10 to 15 knots, head out to the sound side, have sweet options of fishing and hopefully catching some good fish, and the sea state should be all right.
Just about to head off of Jibsea, and we're going to go for a little hike today. 2 nautical mile dinghy ride over to a little island called Little Bell Key. Right now we're anchored in front of what used to be Johnny Depp's island, Little Halls Pond Key, I believe. Yeah, right behind me there. So that's all private land. We can't go ashore. I believe J.K. Rowling, the author, bought this island from Johnny Depp, so it's no longer his. A little sporty of a dinghy ride, but we were craving a stretch of the legs and some adventure. Here. I think we found a trail. It's all lined by ponds here. As you can see here, this is why we chose to sail on the bank side. The waves are waving, and I bet this guy can't wait to tuck into some calmness.
Yeah, it's a good lunch snack spot.
This natural cave is known as the Grotto. These impressive rock formations are shaped by natural erosion from waves and tides from the Atlantic. To whoever wrote this note, we hope you got the positive MRI results and success you were hoping for. We just made it back to the dinghy. That was a nice little stretch of legs, and now we've got a sporty ride back to Jibsea. Little Halls Pond Key was our last anchorage in the Exumas, where we staged for a weather window to allow us to sail to our next adventure.
Super excited. This is going to be all new territory for us. However, I don't know if anybody else notices this that has been sailing, but the wind predictions have been just way off, which makes it very hard to plan a route. Like ever since we got to the Caribbean, the wind predictions have been like less than 50% accurate, which is weird. So let me know in the comments if you find it the same. I've been trying all different models and they're just nothing super accurate. But it's the way it is, I guess. Today was supposed to be a beam reach and we've been pinching the wind at like 40 degrees to maybe 50. And that's always fun when you're pinching the wind and 20 knots apparent. Well, it's 16 now, but before it was 20, so it's a bit aggressive. And when it gets aggressive, Steph pops some gravel and usually heads down below and sleeps. It's about an 8-hour passage, so not too bad. And we are over halfway now, so we should be getting to the little point we gotta wrap around, which I think once we get to the bottom point, we're going to be heading straight into it, and it's too shallow, so I think we're just going to have to straight motor because it's too shallow. We can't go on the same wind direction and then tack back. It's kind of like a little cut, so we're probably just going to have to turn the motor on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, which kind of sucks because we're running low on fuel. And yeah, anyways, enjoy the sail. Yahoo! We just hit our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I reset our trip counter when we got to Martinique. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nautical miles since we landed there, which is 1,234 nautical miles. Pretty cool. Like, that was fun. I think now, you see here, I can't really see. We're hitting that point, and now we got to turn straight into the wind. So I think it's time to put the sails away, or at least the head sail, turn the motor on, and then we're gonna have to motor for an hour and a bit, maybe 2 hours. Let's do it.
Ooh, it's salty. I wasn't gonna like that. It's all salty.
Everything's
We'll leave it out there then.
crazy. First thing I noticed is if you see the land here, those are trees. You don't see trees in the Bahamas. That is a lot of trees. Like, that's a forest. That's pretty cool. I guess we are a little bit further north, which you get a lot of northerlies, probably bring a lot more rain and weather maybe, I don't know. The Exumas, there's no trees. It's all very volcanic rock, and you get some shrubbery, you got some palms, but no, like, you got shrubs. Those are trees. I got the bridle on. Now the load is on the bridle, not the chain, not the bowsprit, and not the Jibsea. We have ours. I've rigged this up so I got a cleat here, goes through an eyelet under here, and this is like super solid because it's a bobstay brace, and that takes the load. We've been in tons of different wind conditions, and that has been the best. It's the most easiest and convenient to deploy and pull in the bridle, so I love it. Perfect. That's it. We're here. Wasn't too bad. Nice day.
Any ideas which island we've pulled into? Make sure you're subscribed to our channel because next week we're showing you what feels like an entirely different country.
Probably should have brought my camera.
And it's nothing like we've seen before. But we move quickly, so before you know it, we're off to another new place. So make sure you've subscribed to our channel so you don't miss a single mile of it.